One other thing I want to add in there that I failed to mention or clarify in the first video is that whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, you can expect that if you're doing something that's right and something that's tough, there's always going to be people who are going to tell you you can't do it. There's always going to be people that say you're going to fail, you're wasting your time, or that you just can't do it. You know how many people have told me my entire life I'm not going to be able to do something? Like when I first started out because I was too small or I was too frail, or I had scoliosis when I was born so bad that I was paralyzed from the waist down initially. I had some impingement on my spine. You know, many people said he'll never walk, doctors even, right? Then when I wanted to learn how to fight and defend myself because I got bullied and picked on, because that's the kind of world that unfortunately we live in, that if you're different or wear leg braces or any shit like that, somebody's going to have to fucking make a remark about it. Some miserable son of a bitch has to say something smart about it and try and lean on somebody just because they can. So when I wanted to learn how to fight and learn how to defend myself, and this was many, many, many years ago, I'm no spring chicken, okay? Back in that day, nobody knew how to fight. It was all just street brawlers. There wasn't a lot of martial arts around. There wasn't any of this kind of shit. There was no commercial martial arts. Nothing like there is now. When you found a place that you could really go and train, a traditional place, you were learning combat, bro. You were learning the real shit. And the way that we trained and the way that they trained, there were no children. There were no kids. They didn't even want to take me because I was too young. They didn't want me around. They thought I was going to hinder shit and just get in the way. They didn't want any kids to set some kind of new precedent there. And these places were hard to find. They didn't really advertise. And the way that the things that they did and went on in there today they'd be sued or shut down or, God knows what. It would be considered a cult probably, some of those kind of practices and the way that people trained back then. It wasn't like it was that many. It was a very small circle. But when I first wanted to start training, it took like 2 years. From the time I was like, I think probably 11, 12, probably 10, 11, 12. By the time I was, 12 and a half or so, that's when the doctor finally said, well, he's not going to be able to do it, but just let him go ahead and try it anyway and get it out of the system. When he can't do it, then, he'll be okay. He won't keep badgering anybody about it. And I was sitting right there, like a non-entity. But, you know what? I did it, and I kept doing it for probably about 17 years. And then, slowly I moved into lifting weights only to rehabilitate something because I tore an ACL. But, and I liked that, so I kept on doing that. But the point is that people are always going to tell you what you can do and what you can't do, and, try and predict your failure or based on whatever, right? They're always going to tell you something's impossible or you can't do it. You can't listen to that kind of shit. You've got to, you have to dig inside yourself. Do it for you. And yeah, it feels good just to show these kind of people that, hey, look, you were wrong. But you know what? That doesn't even mean anything. It's hollow and it isn't even worth anything, because those types of assholes, just proving that you're right over them, it's just a total waste of time anyway, because it doesn't mean anything. That they're wrong means nothing. They're wrong most of the fucking time. They live wrong. And most of these kind of people, today they have a phrase for it. They call them haters. Most of these kind of people, they behave the way they behave largely because the closest I can figure it out, it's not worth really contemplating. So the closest I've been able to figure it out is they just don't have any kind of life. They're not doers. They're spectators. They like to sit in the cheap seats and just pick apart other people's endeavors. The reason they do that is because they don't have any fucking life. They can't do anything themselves. So in a way, I feel sorry for them, but I don't have time to sit around mired in that and just spinning wheels feeling sorry for somebody that I can't pull out of the mud. You know what I mean? You got to pull yourself out too. You got to get up and dust yourself up and pull yourself out. And all these kind of people I'm referring to out there, you don't have to be that way. You don't have to live that way. It's unrewarding, and it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to ever fucking accomplish anything. And the only people that applaud your shit and think it's funny and cute, there's other people like you, other miserable betas. You're never going to fucking touch anything close to great like that. Nothing. You're never going to be the greatest version of you. And then it doesn't matter even who thinks it's great or who doesn't think it's great. As long as you think it's an improvement, you think it's great, you think it's an accomplishment, that's what matters. Now me, Now, if I even saw one of these worthless bastards, like I'm referring to, these sons of bitches, that all they can do is just live to shoot other people's ideas down and other people's efforts down. If I saw one of these fuckers out in the street get hit by a car, bleeding, you know what I would do? I would go over and try and save their fucking miserable life. You know why I would do it? Because I choose to try to be a better man. That's why I would do it. You know why? Because I choose. Not because I have to. I don't have to. There's nobody can make me do shit nowadays. You know what I mean? Nobody's been able to make me do anything for fucking decades and decades. But I choose to. I choose to be a better man. So that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Doing your thing. Do your own thing. As long as you aren't hurting anybody else, God bless. You know, get on with your bad self. Do your thing. Find out whatever it is and go after it. Don't give up. Don't quit. And if you fail the first time, it's just a stumble. It's just a temporary setback. You regroup and you keep moving forward. You keep moving forward. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. So hopefully, let's get back to some more cheerful shit, because I don't like any negativity. I hope nothing about this is negative. And I guess it's not, unless there's some of these fucking, you know, haters out there just hanging around. And if you're hanging around watching any of this, you're at the wrong channel anyway. There's fucking 1,000 YouTube channels you can go to where you'll be amongst your own kind. So move on down the road and go do that. This is a fucking adult channel here. This is a fucking channel for people trying to get something done, and fucking kindred spirits and shit, where we're going to support each other. And we're going to choose to be better. We're going to choose to be better. You can scoff at that, laugh at that, whatever you want to. Ha ha. But you know what? Ain't one of you cocksuckers will laugh at my face for it. That's for damn sure. And if you did, hopefully, I'm enlightened enough that I would just chuckle with you and walk off. Hopefully. But if I were you, I wouldn't push that too far to try and find it out. Hopefully that's what would happen. Nobody's perfect. Whatever you're trying to do out there, guys, go for it. Go for it. There's a lot of people out there like yourself, and there's a lot of people that were like you, whatever your circumstance is. And they persevered, and you can too. So, like I said before, if you don't quit on you, then it ain't over.